another Sunnahfollowers exclusive, Not One of Us, written by Sheikh Muhammad S. Adli, broken down and brought to you by host lailanasheeba. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here on Sunnahfollowers.
Duty law, wa salat, wa salam Allah, wa Rasulullah. Welcome to our hadith class for tonight. And I know I'm late. I am about almost, 45 minutes late with this class. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. It's just so much is going on in our Zoom room. And just let everybody know, remember, our Zoom room is open 24 hours. And that's where all the action happens. You get to see lailanasheeba behind the scenes with Geechee, Ifti, Sabrine, Fresno, Brother Ahmad, and the rest. So sorry, we always taking care of business. Okay, but anyway, this is our hadith class, and the hadith class is not going to last long. It's going to be short because we're only doing one hadith. We're doing the hadith from the book entitled Not of Us, Not One of Us. And as I have on the screen here, this book is compiled by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli, and you can pick up a copy of this book by going to www.adlionline.com and buying this book. And this book consists of hadiths taken from the different sittah, hadiths addressing things that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to stay away from, because indulging or engaging in these actions can actually take you out of the folds of Islam. It doesn't make you a kafir. But if you continue in this behavior, without changing and rectifying yourself, you can actually leave the folds of Islam. So these are very, very important hadiths for us to ponder the meaning of. Very, very important hadiths for us to implement into our daily lives. And with that said, let's take a look at the hadith for tonight. And let me share my screen so everyone can see. Which one is it? This one here. All right, inshallah, you guys can see my screen. Okay. All right. Okay. This is at the bottom. Move this over here. I can't see. Okay. So this is a hadith that addresses how if you claim to belong to somebody that you don't belong to, in other words, to say, this is why adoption is haram. To say that somebody is your father or somebody is your mother or you belong to somebody's family. To say that you are part of somebody's family when you're not. This is a serious crime in Islam. And let's take a look at this hadith. This hadith is narrated by Abu Dar. Abu Dar, he's one of the eminent companions. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a person who knowingly claims anyone else to be his father when he is not, has committed an act of disbelief. And whoever makes the claim that something belongs to him that doesn't, is not one of us and will take his seat in the hellfire. And anyone who refers to another person as being an unbeliever or calls another person an enemy of Allah, and that person is not, it will come down on him. Oh my God, this is a powerful, powerful hadith, and we're going to break it down. This is why adoption is haram. Adoption is bad and dirty because you're saying that someone comes from you, from your bloodline, from your seed line, when that person really doesn't. This is a lie. This is deception. So we have to be careful saying who we come from. This is an act of disbelief. This is what the unbelievers used to do. This is what the unbelievers still do, adopting children. Okay? And not just with children, but anything. To say that something is yours and it's not. Remember, we talked about how once we convert to Islam, once we declare La ilaha illallah, we're declaring allegiance to Allah, to the Prophet, and to the believers. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, once a person declares La ilaha illallah, three things are sacred about that person in regards to the rest of us as Muslims. That means their life is sacred. That means you cannot kill that person. That means their honor is sacred. You cannot destroy that person's reputation. And also their property is sacred. Your children, that's part of your property. Your husband, your wives, that's part of your property. Okay? To impose something as being yours that isn't, this is an act of deception. This is an act of deceit to say that this is my child when it's not. That's deception. That destroys my bloodline. That destroys the ties of mahramship. That destroys the seeding. That also destroys inheritance. Somebody is claiming to be your inheritor when he or she is not deserving of it. This is a sacrilege in Islam. And by the way, that's why we can, I'm going to answer this question that a sister just asked me about a couple hours ago. Can a Muslim can a Muslim inherit from a non-Muslim? No. Can a adopted child inherit from somebody? No, because you're not entitled to that. They're not of you. You're not of them. Okay, so this is why, if you are a Muslim and your family are not, you tell them that they can leave you 1/3. They can gift you 1/3 of their estate. That's it. The rest go to those who are of them. And as far as adoption, you're not entitled to nothing because you're not from that bloodline. Nowadays, we got DNA testing. And y'all know how I'm big on DNA testing. I done tested myself and I know my roots all the way back to the troglodytes. Bertha, remember that Tiba? Y'all, I'm sorry, guys. I'm an 80s girl. Bertha, she's one of the Butt sisters. The troglodytes. Remember that song? I'm one of the Butt sisters. The troglodytes. Okay. That's a joke. Latifah gets it. But subhanAllah, guys, if a person is not of your lineage, is not of your DNA, your heritage, you can't pose these people off. This is a sacrilege. Okay? Also, calling somebody a kafir. I tell my students here all the time, the kids, I don't care how angry you get with another Muslim, you never call them an enemy of Allah. You never call them a kafir, an unbeliever. And we saw this happen here at this website yesterday, unfortunately. When I was giving my lecture, we had a bunch of kids coming in from Kick, that program called Kick. And there was some people in there typing, oh, who is this woman teaching Islam? Women are not supposed to teach. Women are not supposed to show their faces. These brothers from the United Kingdom. It's always that United Kingdom kids. These people are out of control. I don't know what's going on over there in the UK, but boy, them Muslims are out of control. The little boy came in there. Y'all heard him. Y'all saw him. He sat there and said, oh, who is this woman teaching? It's haram. She needs to cover her face. Women can't teach. Women can't show their faces. And none of that stuff is true. That's not Islam. I don't know what he's talking about. And then he called me an enemy. He sat there and told the other kids, don't listen to her. She's an enemy of Allah. She's an enemy of Allah. Astaghfirullah, he cursed me. And I didn't get mad. I sat there and smiled and banned him. I ended up banning him on that kick program. He's one of the 12 people I banned. But whenever you call another, let me tell you children what happens. Whenever you refer to another Muslim as being an enemy of Allah or a kafir, if they are not an enemy of Allah, if they are not a kafir, you will become one, or your children will become one. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whenever you curse another Muslim, and he said cursing another Muslim is to call them an enemy of Allah or kafir. That curse goes up to the heavens. It goes to the right and it goes to the left. If that person is not an enemy of Allah, if that person is not a kafir, it will come back down to earth on you. And either you will become an enemy of Allah or a kafir, or you one of your children. Maybe this is why we have such a high apostasy rate, because you cursed your children, guys. When you cursed another Muslim that wasn't deserving of it, it came back down on you and yours. We have to stop doing it. And this is a big problem with these United Kingdom Muslims, because I see it on the internet. They come into my Kick or my Trovo program, and they have those United Kingdom accents, beautiful accents, and all they do is call people kafirs or call people enemies of Allah. And we're all Muslims. You don't call another Muslim a name like that. These people are off the hook. It's a terrible world we live in today. And we wonder why Allah has sent war. We have to change ourselves. So don't ever refer to another Muslim. I don't care how angry you are with that Muslim or how much you dislike him or dislike her. Never call him a kafir. Never call him an enemy of Allah. Never call him a renegade of Allah or a renegade of Islam, because those are curses. And if that person is not that, it's going to come back on you. So this is a powerful, powerful hadith that has a lot of meaning that we need to implement in our lives. And the source, what's the source? What's the source? The source is Sahih Muslim. So it brings about a lot of lessons. Number one, Islam is not just a religion, but it's a way of life. It's a protective way of life that preserves our lineage. Muslims, we can trace our roots all the way back to the beginning of time. We name ourselves. Our daughters keep the names of their fathers. That's why in Islam, a woman doesn't get married and take on the name of her husband. You keep the name of your father, because this is a way of preserving our lineage. We don't adopt. This is preserving our lineage. Also, as Muslims, we should not claim to have false lineage to a people that we don't belong to. Be careful of that. Okay, do your DNA test. You'd be surprised who you belong to. You don't have to make up a lineage. We got a lot of skeletons in our closet. Believe you me, I found a bunch of them in mine. Also, as a Muslim, we cannot refer to another as being a kafir unless the person says he's a kafir. And we cannot refer to them as being an enemy of Allah unless he says he's an enemy of Allah. So be careful of this, guys. Again, we talked in our 6 o'clock class today about how Allah sends war and hardships as a means of either purifying those worthy of purification or as a means of punishing those deserving of punishment. Remember, I told you guys, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that whenever we experience a calamity, we have to first of all say inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun, because it came from Allah. It didn't come from Israel. It didn't come from America. That hardship came from Allah. He sends it as a means of either punishing or purifying. Okay? And then you ask yourself, am I on the receiving end of his punishment from this calamity? Or am I on the receiving end of his purification? That means self-evaluate. Ask yourself, what are you doing that you shouldn't do? Are you referring to other Muslims as being kafirs? I see it in the United Kingdom all the time. I see it on my program here. Those kids came in there and called me an enemy of Allah because I don't have my face covered. Because I don't have my face covered, and because I'm a woman talking, I'm an enemy of Allah. How ridiculous. So you're on the receiving end of his punishment. Okay? Self-evaluation. Self-evaluation. And then we have to, once we determine which side we're on, then we need to set about changing it. If you truly believe in Allah, then that's the time to change. I'm going to change the condition of myself to that which is pleasing to Allah. And once we work on changing the condition of ourselves to that which is pleasing to Allah, that's how we earn his love. And when Allah loves you, he will cause those people of importance on earth to love you. Okay? Wonderful. All right, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or comments? You brothers here on this kick, y'all got something to say? What, y'all quiet now, huh? Yeah, I'm talking about you. I don't know what's going on over there in the UK, but y'all better get it together. Seriously. Stop calling Muslims kafirs. I'm not a kafir. I've been Muslim all my life and devoted my life to the dawah. And be careful referring to people who devoted their life to teaching others as being an enemy of Allah. You call me an enemy of Allah, brothers? Because I don't have my face covered? The prophets' wives didn't cover their faces either. So are they enemies of Allah too? Where does Allah say I got to cover my face? Where does Allah say because I'm a female, I can't teach? Where does Allah say because I'm a woman, I can't teach this deen? When the first scholars of this religion were women. Aisha, radiallahu anha, was one of the first scholars of this deen. Okay? So you brothers need to be really careful over there in that UK. I don't know what y'all are doing, what's going on. I see y'all on the news protesting and crap. And the people protesting ain't got no hijabs on and stuff. I don't know what y'all doing, but y'all better chill. Seriously. Y'all wouldn't make it over here in America. It's a lot of American women like lailanasheeba. And we ain't going to tolerate no man calling us no enemy of Allah because we don't cover our face. There's a lot of us that don't cover our face here. Be careful. Any questions?